move to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's call this work session to order. It is 9:30 here on May 7th. This is our informal time. Does anybody from the public, I guess we'll start with you folks, anybody from the public like to bring up anything to the work session? Either the stand.
It's pretty quiet.
It's always quiet when Fred's not here. Holly, you have anything for work session?
I guess, I don't know, I guess we can talk a little bit about the jobs fair.
Okay.
Just that today is gonna, we're gonna continue to take any businesses, but if they wanted in that directory, it had to be this morning, and I didn't get the chance to open your email.
They did get in there.
Those two got in there?
Yes,
Okay.
I sent it to Neil Lynch, DDU, and Rich Vogt.
Okay, so I think that put us at 51.
Yes.
So we have 51 businesses. Very pleased with that, and I have no idea, we have a planning meeting tomorrow afternoon. No idea what the Jobs and Family Services, One Stop, I always want to say Job Store, it's up there, it's called Job Store, the One Stop, has on their website, of course, the listing of all those businesses, who those 51 are, and ability for someone to pre-register. They obviously can still register at the door, and also the promotion of that VIP program, but I'd be curious tomorrow, because I haven't talked to Kathy or Carol Owen on how many people maybe have come out with their resume to get it screened and to earn VIP status, which gets them in a half hour, or an hour ahead of the general public. General public, 1 o'clock, any job seeker coming in 1 to 4:30. But, so I'm curious to see that, and how many people maybe did the pre-registration, which means they're looking at it, and if they're doing that online, they're seeing the list of businesses that are going to be there, and, yeah, so.
What is the dress code? I heard there's a dress code. Does that mean no shorts? Does that mean you have to have a dress shirt on, or what does that mean?
If you come in your pajama pants, Jeff, we're not gonna let you in.
Okay.
You can't come in your pajama pants. But, yeah, if someone comes in I assume like a tank top and, yeah, you're not looking professional, and that's kind of broad, because is it professional because they're looking for, you know, some people base it on the type of job they're looking for, but there is going to be people at the door after they register in that, and if we don't feel it's appropriate, we're gonna ask them, you know, you have the opportunity to go back and change, you know, this is, and we emphasize, the VIP process really emphasizes that, and they'll come, those who go through that process, that's a big advantage of that, is that they're getting, you know, prepped about how to network when you're going to something like a jobs fair, how to dress, you know, make sure you have their resumes getting screened, the resumes getting put in a booklet that those employers are getting, that come that day.
Okay.
Things like that, but yeah, we are going to expect them to be dressed to impress.
I know somebody's looking for work, and I just didn't know how to tell them to appear.
Somebody asked me yesterday, do I need to wear a suit and tie? And I said, you know, how would you dress for an interview? You go suit and tie? And I said, well, then I think that's what you probably should wear. But I said, you know, it's a matter of, you know, tie and a shirt would be good, but again, depending on what they're looking for. But what we don't want is someone just coming off the street and thinking, because that's not going to help them, even if they were doing this on their own. It's just a reality, and the employers, the HR people are the ones that tell us that that still happens, which is amazing. But that's what they tell us. So, yeah, we want the employers to have good experience meeting these job seekers. So
Okay.
that's it on that. That's on Monday at Tiffin.
Monday already? Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, and that Congressman's office is running some ads. And I did not see it yet to send me that schedule, because they gave it at the last meeting, and then there were several people offering different input on days of the week to do certain things, and so I don't know what the final schedule looked like, but they were actually going to place it right in the Help One ads, so for the job seeker would be a person to see it. You know, that's
okay.
So time will tell here.
Okay.
How many people?
Anything else from you?
No, unless.
Okay. I did type up some thoughts on the $5 license plate fee. I was going to wait till Fred was back, but it just seemed like the time was right. So I'm just going to read my little statement here, and I do have a couple copies if you guys want it. I promised Mr. Zoller that I would keep an open mind throughout the discussions, and I think I have done that. The supporters of the tax make many good points, and I do not dispute. I do, however, have a couple reservations that will keep me from imposing this tax in the end, and I think imposing is the key word there. They are, number one, there is never an end to taxes for good causes. and they all stack on top of one another. In the last 10 years, there have been a couple other taxes raised specifically to meet transportation needs. In 2003, the state raised the gas tax for transportation infrastructure needs, with about half of that increase going to local governments, and we still do collect that. County gets some of that money. In 2009, the state raised driver's license fees as well as license plate fees, with the money again going toward transportation needs, yet the needs still exist. Number two, there is absolutely no guarantee that passing this tax will have any effect on State Route 53 or any other major highway. This has been the most frustrating part of this process, because in the minds of a lot of people, the tax increase is tied to major improvements on State Route 53. It's been packaged that if we pass this tax, we'll get a Super 2 on State Route 53. We have no promise from ODOT or anyone else that they will make 53 a Super 2 if we have a couple $100,000. I fully support and have worked for road improvements to 53 and will continue to do so. But we could collect this tax for 10 years and not guarantee those improvements. Further, I think the law is pretty clear that the county is responsible to maintain county roads and bridges, and through the work of the engineer's office, we've done a pretty decent job. ODOT, by law, is responsible for state highways. Now they want us to pay to study their highway, which may or may not lead to improvements. It just doesn't sit well with me. If the majority of the Board of Commissioners wants to put this issue on the ballot and let the people decide, I could support that. I will support that. But I cannot support just imposing it. So I like to write things down after I thought about them a while, because I don't want to say something that I didn't mean to say, so I put that in writing. Yes, Mr.
I have a question on that. I had talked to somebody just recently and said that really Tiffin and maybe Fostoria has something that's added to our auto license plate fees. Is that right or wrong?
That is
I
correct.
think Holly could give you she's done a lot of research on that. There are two different, it isn't just as simple as putting the $5 fee on. There are two different ways you can do it, and not everybody pays either way.
Well, what I understood was that there was already some on there, and that the county actually couldn't put $5 on that would be applied to everybody's license in the county.
That's right.
Yeah.
In other words, that
That's
there
why
would
it's
only
been
be a certain
oversimplified.
portion of the county would be paying an extra $5.
Right. The county has their provisions and ways to impose. The municipalities have their own ways to impose, and the townships have one way and one way only, which really is the only one that has no impact on what the others have done. Townships are kind of a standalone. So if they have theirs in place now and or want to do it in the future, they can. Doesn't, regardless of what the county and or municipalities have done. Okay, so that's where the townships are. But the municipalities' options and the county options greatly affect each other depending on the ones chosen. And this program here, this shows the counties, the townships, and the municipality options. There's our three. The municipalities have four. And who's got what? Of course, the county, it says no, 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 because we don't have any in place. This list are 10 townships that have one in place of the 15. And then under municipalities, Attica, Bloomville, Green Springs, Tiffin have theirs, which is 450406 in place. So if we imposed our 4504.02, we would not collect from those four. And the municipalities we do collect from, we have to put it in a separate fund. That's what I emphasized in the statement I read a couple weeks ago. We have to put it in a separate fund that they can complete an application through us to receive it for their projects. So that's why I was pointing out the fact that in the end, if we imposed 02, essentially the townships are the only people that are going to be providing us money that we can use for something. Because these municipalities we won't take it from, the other ones we have to keep it for them to ask for it. If we did 15, our option of 15, and they have their option of 17 in place, we don't collect from them, and that's Fostoria and Bettsville. So
Okay.
we would not collect from Fostoria and Bettsville under that, and the huge difference under 17, or under 15 for us, is it's the split. It's not 100% to us. If we imposed it, we would collect 50% from the municipalities and give them 50%. And then the townships, we'd split it with them 70-30. So both, either one of these, based on 2011 numbers, vehicle numbers, when I did the math on it, they're within $11,000 of each other. So I said roughly we collect around 200,000. the difference is who's paying. Because under the one, essentially the money left to us is coming from the townships, and under the other, we would have Tiffin back in that mix. We'd have all these municipalities back in it. We leave Bettsville and Fostoria are already collecting, so we wouldn't collect from them. But we're then splitting with the municipalities 50-50 and 70-30 on the townships. So that's the differences. Fostoria also has another one in place, so Fostoria, anybody in Fostoria is already paying 10.
Well, okay, then basically, okay, if you put $5 on, you got $200,000 out of it, the county would not be entitled to $200,000.
Well, by the math I did, it's around that figure. But again, it's, because I already when I did the math, I subtracted out the money we have to set aside for the municipalities. So it's
Okay.
right around, it's a little lower
Okay,
under the one.
you get
but-
that much, but you couldn't keep that much in effect, right?
Under .02, we'd get nearly that amount, but
Yeah.
Tiffin wouldn't pay, Annika wouldn't pay, Green Springs wouldn't pay,
Correct.
and Bloomville wouldn't pay.
Right,
If you do it under .15, we'd get roughly that amount.
Yeah, it's
but
a little
Fostoria
less.
wouldn't pay, and Bettsville wouldn't pay, and then we'd have to divide that among
yep,
the municipalities and the
Yeah.
township. So it isn't just as simple as $5 everybody pays.
You're
and it
right.
goes into one
yeah,
pot.
yeah.
Exactly.
And that's one of those assumptions a lot of people are making. It's fair, everybody pays the $5, but I'm like, it depends on which law and where they live and that kind of stuff. Like I said, Fostoria already is paying 10, and if we did 02, they would have to pay that additional 5, because theirs are 17, 172 and 17 that they have in place. So if we did 02, it doesn't matter what, those, they would be paying a total of 15.
Yeah.
Anybody in Fostoria. And Bettsville would be go from paying 5 to paying 10. So, like I said, it's really, there's a lot more details to it than what it
Just the
appears at the
$5
surface.
per-
Yeah, than $5 a vehicle. So that's, like I said, when I learned that if we did 02, we have to set aside the municipality's money anyway. I mean, that's huge. That's, sets it out there and,
I have another question. The overpass over at Fostoria, over that railroad that you built out there by the spark plug plant.
On Jones Road?
Yeah. Okay, where did that money come from?
I think you explained that once, didn't you?
Came from the state, I think, probably from federal, but I think it came through the state. most
Well,
of
I
it.
heard that, because I said, well, the state paid for some of that, that's not a state highway. How can that be?
Let's
How
say-
can the state put money into a county
Well,
federal
highway?
highway money? Was that
Yeah,
the
went
ARA
to the
money?
railroad too. The railroad was
railroad.
involved somehow too because of the safety issue and stuff, but yeah.
Because federal highway gets in with a lot of bridge work.
Yeah.
Well, I
don't know how.
somebody, another person told me that really there was federal money involved in that. It was slated for something else that didn't get used, and that they was able to give it to that. I didn't know, because I had understood that there was state money involved in that. And I said, well, wait a minute, state money can get involved with a county highway. How in the devil can state money not get involved with 53 South,
Yeah.
That was what I was wondering. Because I didn't know, and that, I don't know what was the dollar on that over there? It was quite a bit, wasn't it?
It got higher because they put it off for a while.
They were shooting for 3 overpasses, right?
Yeah,
So they
the
got
third
2
one's
of them.
supposed to be out there past Ropey on 12, Township Road
Oh, okay, but
47 or
so
something.
they've got a couple more that's supposed to be part of that
Well, I don't
project?
think they're gonna
Yeah, I
get the
think
other
that's
one.
probably out of the way.
Yeah.
But they've got 2 done,
But they
right?
got 2 done, yeah.
2 out of the
Yeah,
3.
they're very nice.
Oh, yeah, that's.
It was like $9
Yeah.
million or something on Jones Road, maybe?
I don't
7
know.
to 9, something
Well-
like that.
Yeah, I don't know all of the funding of that, just
Well,
how
yeah,
much from what source. and-
but that wasn't, you don't know that was state money involved in that one out in the north side there.
Well, I thought the state and fed both.
Well, that's what I was thinking, okay, that's what bugged me on that, is
Yeah, I'm
okay.
pretty sure.
That is not a state project, not a state highway, and they got money for that fairly quickly and stuff, and why can't they get it for a state highway? Why can't the state furnish it for a state road, It didn't make any sense to me. Of course, I don't make any sense anyhow.
These are a lot.
And granted, I think it's our advantage to keep the state aware of our concerns about their road.
Yeah.
But again, it's their road and we have no jurisdiction over that road and no control over when they're gonna decide to do what on that road. But I do think we are obligated to, to do our part to make sure they're aware that we want improvements and we want changes, or, whatever those needs are, and elevate that to that level. But again, it's not our jurisdiction, we have no authority over that, unfortunately, but.
And I don't think I'm ruling out if they say a study's gonna cost X amount of dollars and county has to throw in 10 or something, I'm not ruling out that I would support that. I'm just saying that
Why
I'm not gonna impose
why
this
support
status.
money into something to force them, or to get them to even looking at something? They should be doing that
They
as a
should-
state project.
they should be.
Not the county shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But, I would be willing to put something towards a study if it was reasonable amount, and I thought it might do some good from the general fund.
Well, I still think it's a state responsibility.
It is, absolutely is, absolutely is.
And why the devil should this county, or Wyandotte County, or Sandusky County have to pay to study their road,
And I think the coalition's good. I think we have an opportunity to keep pressure on, have more strength in numbers. I think some good things can come out of that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like if we'd say Clinton Township, you have to pay to do County Road 50 because it goes through your township. It's similar. All right, anything else? Well, we'll wait till 10 o'clock for regular board session, I guess, if we just want to recess till then.
So we can do that.
I don't know how to shut that on.
Yeah, that was my thank
So
you
that
note
went
for
pretty
the
good?
relay.
Okay.
And look, I brought you a cupcake. Fred can have the other one, I'm on a diet.
I
so-
ate one earlier. That thing didn't taste very good.
So I kept the little sign that said hope, so you guys can, not that I'm saying you're a cupcake